I remembered a dream from last night. I don't often remember dreams. So you say things like, I don't dream, but it's very fitting of what's going on. So I'm going to share it. It was a woman who wanted me to communicate with her cat. And the feeling was like when I was starting out, that she wanted me to say something to prove to her that I was connected with her cat. So the emotion of that dream was very real. And I was like, oh, yes, your cat is quite small, seems very quiet. And then she was like, mm. And I thought I'd better keep going because I'm not getting the response that, wow, that is my cat. So, okay, I think, he likes to be outside. He has a good relationship with you. And she's going, okay. And then I went, oh, I feel like the cat's really quite young, maybe about 3 or 4 years old. And she went, that's absolute rubbish. That was my dream. Now, 9 years into being a professional animal communicator. And of all the different jobs and self-employment that I've carried out in my lifetime, I would say that animal communication is a different one because it takes a long time to build up your reputation and very quick for your reputation to go down if somebody decides that you're no good. I know that that probably can be said with most businesses. However, there's this fear that I believe many animal communicators who want to be professional, or even if they're thinking about being a professional, that could be a fear that they hold at the back of their mind, that all it takes is for one person to say that you're rubbish. And then what do? How do you climb back out of that? So I'm sharing this dream, not because this scenario continues to haunt me, and for 9 years I'm stressed by this prospect. I'm saying that that is one of the realities of why we aim for accuracy in animal communication, that some of the courses will say how important accuracy is. And even before you start your communication, it's important that you showcase, you prove that you're connected to the animal. So this was something that I had gone through for 1-2 years of my animal communication at the beginning. And I thought that the more I practice, the better I'm going to become more accurate. And because of the accuracy, I'm going to be somebody that can do animal communication and people will believe me. And as a result, people believe me. You go, phew, I can do this. I can help. And that's what I want us to go back to as well. Why do we want to do animal communication? What will join all of us together? What's our common denominator? Is that we want to help animals. Then it all gets a bit muddy because we then are frightened that we may not be connected to the animal, or we're not doing it right, or we're not getting the right information. So this is really the core of why I have explored and pondered and tried different ways to look at how communication with animals can be more freeing, more creative. What if we didn't focus only on the accuracy? What if we focus on meaning? What if we focus on transformation? What if we focus that the information we pass on changes lives? And that's how the Deep Speak method or concept came about. So for 6 years, that's really the discussions I've been having with Piedad. And I've been very blessed to be able to create a community where literally every single member was going to be testing out my method and my concept. And so this is where we're at today, that to have this awareness that I can still get in touch with your fears, those that we don't talk about, because I still have those fears. They're not as strong as they used to be, but I'm very aware that society, particularly with energy work, wants to test us to see if we're getting it right. And I'm saying to you that animal communication is not for testing, but it's for bringing meaning and transformation and a positive impact. So if you were to fear that what you pass on is going to upset somebody, the question you want to ask yourself after that is, but will it help them to change? Will it shift the situation that they're in? Will they know what to do with the information to empower themselves and their animals? So that's the focus of why Deep Speak became this concept that I have been sharing with Peer Dad. So in my student days, it was important that we all had case studies. And now when I look back, and I do it differently now with students of mine and mentees of mine, if I could create a whole guideline on what to look for when you're doing case studies. In fact, I'm just going to do that next time. That's my next project. I would ask you to do case studies very differently. So let me give you a scenario. Say you choose to do 100 case studies, and out of the 100 case studies, every question is the same. Tell me something that only my cat in spirit and I know. Or what is my dog's favorite walk? Would you get better at getting the answer right because you've practiced that question 100 times? Some you're going to get it, some you're not. And those are very typical questions that come through because that seems to be the understanding of people who haven't studied animal communication in a way and practice it, to realize that there's so much more to communicating with animals. So the Deep Speak cards is just one method that I was thinking of. How can I share this worldwide? There's one of me, one of Peer Dad. You know, my book can only reach so far, and not everybody is a reader. My courses can only reach so far because there's me presenting it live, or there's me with my limited systems. You know, as I grow my business, I invest more. And then I thought cards, you know, card decks are so, you don't even have to explain a card deck. The minute you go, have you got a card deck? And everybody's like really excited, you know. And if you haven't heard of it, you'll soon be on, you know, you'll be shopping. You'll be shopping and you don't stop at one card deck, do you? So universally, card decks are very acceptable. I wanted to create something that becomes an acceptable kind of product, but within the product, it really holds our concept and our method. So I want you to share in the fact that this has come from a place of just being so motivated and driven for you and anyone who's just starting out on this journey, and those of you who have been on the animal communication journey wanting to help others, but have always felt that little bit of a pressure of what if I got it wrong? What if people don't believe me? And so these questions that the animal presents to us, we'll chat through today's session, how that came about, how Pierre and I received those questions. And so we'll give you more of a background. And then if you want to stay on, we can have another go at playing with the card, with the app. And there's one other option menu called layout that I want to show you. So if you're quite OCD in a positive way, you're going to like this function. So if you want to do that, you can stay on.